Welcome back to PowerShell Titans, and then in in upcoming sessions, we are going to cover more advanced level of PowerShell concepts. So so far, what all the things we've been seeing, like we started with PowerShell basics, and then we slowly, gradually, trying to add all the building blocks of scripts, and then the script is divided into two things. One is commandlets, and then the logics. Then the commandlet formats. We started from that, and then how to use it, how to not to use it, and programming language related things, variables, what is variable, and other supporting automatic things, and what are all the things specific to PowerShell, let's say scope and script scope, all those things. And we also started with the scripting related logics. And as I say, always a script PowerShell is a scripting language. It means it's just a list of commands or a block of commands directed with some logic. So the script is equals to some kind of commandlets plus some kind of logics. So let me share the screen so that I can show you what all the things we covered. This is what we are going to cover. So what I was trying to say is about we our objective is wanted to become PowerShell mastery, right, or PowerShell Pro. So that is what we are trying to do, and what our plan is, we were trying to cover all the building blocks for the scripts I was saying, right? So script, as we know, PowerShell is a scripting language. It's not a programming language. Script is nothing but the commandlets plus some logics. So we started with commandlets. What is introduction of the PowerShell? Let's say introduction, and then what all the commandlet means, and then what is alias, and what is the connection between the .NET framework and all the underlying concepts. Okay, so that we will be having a strong understanding how exactly things working. So we started from there, and then we also covered commandlets, and also we started moving to logics. When I say logics, anything gonna help us to take some kind of decision, like if or if else or for condition, anything gonna help us to do some kind of operation based on some kind of condition. That is called, that is what we call it as logics, right? So we covered that, and then we were also trying to use functions. Function is will be making our scripting, let's say, style into more advanced things. So in spite of putting everything or keep repeating and keep writing the things again and again, we can create it as a function, and we know how to send some input to a function and get some value, return some value, all those things. So, and also we started with error handling, like what are all the basic error handlings, what is actually error means, and then what is an exception means, exception is the heart of the error. And then we also explored the properties of that, and even though we have a lot of properties in that, what all the properties we can use for our troubleshooting. And then we also moved from the console related error to actual script related error, which is dollar underscore dot exception, those kind of things. So they're all same kind of object, even though we deal with the service in the console or in the service, or in the script. They both are service, right? Nothing will be changing. Similarly, error is an object, will be in the same, but only the way we access will be different. And then we started with that. We also covered try, and then catch, and then final, all those things. I was connecting it with the if and else if, all those things. And that is all we covered. And then now we are actually getting into bit more advanced. So I would say in these things we covered all the basic things, basic fundamental things. Okay, and whatever you require to do, let's say you can. you are already ready to start and then do scripting to do the daily day-to-day task and then those kind of things. And the mastery level is something like a bit of gonna give you an edge, right? So let's say for an example, what will be a difference between Usain Bolt, whoever comes for first in the 100-meter running race, okay, in the Olympic level. He will be, let's say he is first place, and let's say he is actually achieving in 1 minute, okay. And whoever comes in this last place, right, whoever comes in the last place, he will, the difference between this first guy who let's say Usain Bolt or somebody, anyone, right, any Olympic thing, and particularly running for an example, okay, the difference between the first person and the last person will be in actually seconds, or sometimes it will be in milliseconds. People will be, I mean, particularly in swimming, all those things, right, it will be milliseconds. So just in 2 milliseconds they touch to the target, those kind of things. So the point is, when I say this mastery, I mean whatever this mastery, right, to achieve that, not only what everyone learn all these things, and we started learning and we are fine with this, and we started exploring things, and then all the basics are done. Now we are going to add this particular one, okay. So what is the edge I'm talking is, the only difference, the little bit of difference between you and the others, so that you will be knowing, trying to do anything with the PowerShell, so with a complete confidence. So that is what I call it as a limitless PowerShell advanced course. And then um, I'll be saving this as let's say advanced one. Okay, and that is the complete plan. Okay, so here it is not something gonna be a rocket science. Okay, the reason why I'm gonna giving this is, it is just a little bit edge. We know more, and we know already, everything whatever required to write a decent script. And then if you are practicing, as I said, every day, just starting from at least minimum 12 minutes, okay, is is something that you can definitely afford, right? So 12 minutes to 30 minutes is all you need. Let's say if you continuously let when I say continuously, it's not about even continuous days. It's about just the persistence, without leaving a huge gap. Even though you forget for 1 or 2 weeks, again getting up and then pull yourself again and then try to continue with this. If this is gonna happen, and that, I mean, once it is very similar to like when you start something, right? Initially you will be suffering, but once you start seeing the result, right? Let's say you go to a gym, and then for first one, or let's say you keep on going for 1 month, 2 months, nothing will be happening, and you will not be physically seeing any changes. But the others will start noticing it, and you will also start noticing let's say you are on a regular basis, you are going for some time, you will never see any change at all. But once you start seeing that, right, that's the exact moment where you will actually get attached to the gym. So people, I mean, whatever the process, right? So the process, you will be start doing it, and then once you get the result, start seeing the result, right? Then there is no, that is where actually you are starting your mastery. Okay, that is what I would say, you actually started mastery, because there is you got, I mean, it's just like a new kind of technology. You are trying to learn yourself, and then you are trying to get assistance, basics and advanced and everything. And then you are practicing for minimum 12 to 30 minutes. 30 minutes is way very good, but 12 minutes is let's say that is enough for really enough for us. In 12 minutes you can easily try, try at least 4 or 5 commands. Okay, so that is more than enough to mastery. So once you start seeing result, what I mean is, where how you will be seeing result, let's say you will gain a confidence about PowerShell. And if you will be start seeing a complete organization around you, like this can be, let's say people are doing this for again and again, means we can put it in a for loop and then we can do some kind of automation. So ideas will start doing it. And as I said, you are in the we are all in the forum, and our entire objective is to help each other to achieve their objective of the actual goal, right? So it can be you want to be an architect or DevOps or anything, so we will be helping you. So start seeing the result is within yourself, inner confidence, and then the satisfaction you are actually doing something that is which is gonna help you in your career. And also external things, it can be you're doing the script and then you are actually projecting to your manager and getting the reward for that, and all those things, right? That is all external. So once you start seeing that first result, then there is no look back, and that is where you will be starting mastery. So mastery is, again, it's a journey, as everyone says. Okay. It is means mastery is nothing but you learned something, but you will never leave it, because you'll be once you learned that completely, you will know you are just starting. So you'll keep learning. So I'm keep on learning, so till now, right? And I'm happy about, if I make mistake, I'm still happy, because I know I'm learning something new, right? So that is the mindset you will be automatically getting in the mastery. From others perspective, you are actually a grandmaster, but in your perspective, you are actually starting your actual mastery thing. And this is all, if I'm not wrong, if you are putting the right effort, and then if you are following all these things, you don't need a complete book, or a complete, you don't need to understand all the commands or everything. Whatever in this 14 days we covered, right? That is the complete entire concept for anything. So you already have all the strong foundation. Okay. And so you don't need anything else. You're already ready. So what is this advanced courses? This is again adding from this place to just pushing you quickly to the mastery. Means uh, from my let's say knowing of 80%, we are just gonna make sure 100% everything required to write the decent PowerShell. But now we are going to make it more advanced, and then you can do like anything related to registry, related to real time things, all those things. So again, this is it doesn't mean these are all not frequently used. These are all the things also frequently used, but in a very rare case. Okay. But once you know this, it means you're completely done with learning PowerShell, so that you will have 100% confidence. So that's the complete plan about this upcoming classes. And that is the whole objective about achieving the mastery. And then 14 days of fundamentals, basics, all the concepts of everything covered. Now we are going to get a little bit of edge. And then all you need to do is whatever we have so far done, try to do that, understand where whatever is missing. And then let's say if everything is goes strong, right, mostly just 3 months is more than enough to achieve the same level of expertise. Let's say I have, right? You will be having that, because not like in an experience level, I'm saying in the knowledge level. Okay, whatever I know, whatever I can do in the same level of in the speed, or in the way I approach everything, right? Everything will be achieved in this 3 months. So all you need to do is just keep the persistence, and then continue doing it, and keep getting assistance from the FB. And being said that, let's start the advanced course today, and then let's start, get this edge. Okay, so let us start with registry. Okay, the ultimate aim here we are going to do with is how to actually handle with registry. It can be your local machine, or it can be your remote computer or anything. How to create a key, how to create a particular value, all those things. So to go to registry, all those things, to understand how exactly we need to do that, we actually need something called the underlying principle, how exactly PowerShell sees the registry and other things. So that is what today we are going to cover. And then let us start with this one. Okay. One is called PS providers. Don't try to focus on all these things. Okay, this is all, I just keep it so that we will not be wasting time in typing all those things. I just want to cover as much as possible things, so that I just prepared it. So if at all anything, don't try to jump the gun and then try to see all these things. Let's go one by one so that you know everything. So first thing is, we are going to concentrate on PS providers and then PS drives. This is one of the very popular thing, and then the same time one of the most misunderstood concept. Okay, so and what they usually, before we give the actual example, let's go to the real time example. So provider is nothing but just data source. Okay, it can be a data source. What are all the data source I can have in my computer? It can be my hard disk, right? From my hard disk I can have C drive, D drive, those kind of things, or data, right? Data source. I can have a SQL database, or I can have a network folder where is in another another computer or in a file system. All these places are giving me data, and that is the data source, right? So whatever provides, okay, data as and then that is called PS providers, or that is basically means just data source. So we call it as providers because they provide us with some kind of information. So not only the provide, I mean, it is not only going to give us how to access the files and folders. It's also going to help us to achieve, let's say, to access more data. Okay, so when I say more data, I'll be telling you what are all the things. Let us start with start hyphen transcript. Okay, now let's start with providers. Get hyphen ps provider, and this hit enter, and you will be seeing these things. Okay, and file system I mentioned, right? File system is one of the example. Let's say in my computer, C drive, D drive, or those kind of things. Okay, so those are all the file system. And let's say we take a file server or a network drive or a network folder or anything, everything comes under this file system. Okay, correct. So that is one of the data source. Just imagine, I mean, you know that is one of the data source. And similarly, okay, PowerShell is not, not only like an operating system. Just it doesn't have to give only the file system. It's gonna give you other providers to access the data. So what is the data? It can be any kind of data, right? What are all the data type? It can be a registry. That is what we are gonna, at the end we are gonna complete. We are gonna manipulate how to read, how to create all those things. So the actual registry is there, right? So this is what actually PowerShell will be providing. Okay, this name is nothing but just a name of the provider. Okay, and this is let's say, we know the alias, right? Get hyphen alias will be getting all the list of alias, right? Why get hyphen alias comes under the PS provider? It is all about, if you see, actually, okay, it will be coming into only one one concept. Okay, why we need a file system, or why, let's say, why do we need a C drive, okay, or why do we need a Z drive, which is in the network drive, let's say xyz.com slash abc slash some kind of network, okay, folder, network folder. Okay, for that we can map it in our machine, and then let's say C drive, D drive, all those things. Why we do this? In spite of I type and then navigate here, if I just type Z drive or Z drive, I'll be directly going there. So basically it's a kind of shortcut, or a gateway is where we will be entering, right? Just like a door, okay, to access that particular fastest way. So in spite of I go to this every time I remember this, I mean, it's a shortcut, and then it is also easy to remember, and then I can I mean, that is the whole point, right? So because if we map that particular folder, and that is where I'm keeping all my information, in spite of every time I open it and then go there navigating, if I map it Z drive, it will be easily accessible, right? So it is a shortcut and a gateway to access the data, and it is also more easy to access the data, right? Accessible to I mean, it is more accessible. And again, the same thing, why we have, I mean, the entire hard disk, right? That's one single hard disk, we all know, and it may be one or two disk, let's say, in your in your local computer. But what is the reason why we put it as a C drive, and it is in the C, and then we have a C Windows, all those things, right? I'm not only talking about drives, C drives or D drives. I'm talking about Windows, and then in the System 32. Why we keep the, go further and further? Because the more we organized and more we are trying to get it, let's say, in a organized manner, it will be easier for us to, at the end, we all trying to, access the source, I mean, data, with the easiest way possible, shortest way possible, with like some kind of drives. So that is the whole point, why we actually need a providers. uh, the providers is just gonna give us the shortcut, okay, or a way to give you the access to your data source from anywhere, okay. Now, why did I say this? Because when we say data, it is not only your actual files, it is also registry is also data, right? But it is in a different format. Registry will not be stored in a file format, but again, it is a very important data that as an IT administrator we will be working. Why alias is added in PowerShell as a provider? Because alias makes us easier, right? Our life easier. Why we need an alias? In spite of get hyphen child item, okay, I type get hyphen alias, get here. What is the, I mean, what is this all about? Because in spite of I type this much command, okay, I type something, I can easily remember. Take these things, it's shortcut and it's a gateway to access whatever this particular command is gonna give me, okay, and then it is easy to access. So that is, again, that is the whole principle underlying the providers. It is the most of us, I mean, usually will understand PS provider is actually only for um, it's a file system, or only for the registry, okay. Yes, it is also for file system, network, and things, but this is the underlying concept. So that is why we need an alias. And then let's try what else we try. Let's say alias provider. Environment variable, again, the same concept. If you type my computer and then go to properties and then advanced, here environment variable. Why we are actually declaring some kind of variable, okay, as an environment variable, because we know, okay, or I mean, at least the operating system know, we wanted to make sure, in spite of, let's say I just type temp, okay, it will be going to actual temporary, right? This is where it is taking me. So where it will be declared, it will be declared here, right? So temp, all those things are because we want to access it anywhere, and then easiest way, because these are all the something we wanted to very every now and then we want to do. And sometimes we'll be typing win director, all those things we know, right? That is the whole point of variables as well, environment variables, and then that is again matching these three scenarios: shortcut, and then easy to access. So that's the reason we have environment variables as well. And then file system we have already seen. Functions, again, function is, if you consider function, you can write a function and then keep it in a particular file, okay, and then you can access it as a let's say kind of a script you can call anytime, okay, since this is something related to our PowerShell directly, right? And variable, again, variable is, again, why we need a variable. One of the reason why we declare the variable is to reuse it and easy to use. So in spite of I type a huge huge name, or my completely fqdn name, if I just type a fqdn1 and then type the complete name for only one time, I can call using this variable name every time, and then it will be easier shortcut to access some kind of thing. And similarly, certificate and ws man, okay, let us not get into this as of now, don't worry about it, okay. That is the whole point, okay. What, when we say provider, it is not anymore only the file system or something confusing concept. It's very plain and simple. Provider is going to provide some data source, and then we are going to access it, making our life easier by giving some accessible uh, some kind of gateway to access. Now I say it is giving a shortcut and gateway, right? In alias, let's say we type CMD or DI or all those things, is the gateway to call that particular thing. And in the file system, C drive or Z drive is the way we call that particular file system, or let's say a network drive or anything, right? So these are all things we call as drives, right? A C drive, why we call them as a drive? That's an actual technical term for mentioning a file system, a data source, by accessing a particular letter, one letter, C drive, D drive, all those things. So from there actually we derive PS drive, okay. PS drive is PowerShell drive. Okay, that is the, again, gateway to access the data source. And we said PS provider will provide all those data, C, Windows, all those things. But this C drive, okay, and this CMD and other things, we are going to show everything. All those things are the gateway. So what I mean by PS drive, now we know get hyphen ps provider, what is that? Now let's try get hyphen ps drives and hit enter. This is very similar to how I type. If you type dir in your computer, you will be getting all your local data, right? Similarly, this get hyphen ps drive will be getting the data from my machine, okay. So this is not a standard information like get hyphen service will be giving, or at least half of the services will be same in your machine and my machine, right? So there is no it is not mandatory it should be there in the same format, or same thing will be available. Sometimes a few things will not be also available, but The point is, here is what I want you to focus. First thing, let's say the C drive. C is actually the name of the PS drive. Okay, and when we say PS drive, you remember everything in PowerShell. Actually, let's open a command prompt, and then you see, let's say I type a D drive here. It's directly starting with the D. Okay, but here it's actually says PSD. Okay, so uh, no need to confuse. I mean, there is nothing to confuse. Okay, just again know that as an example. I mean, just to know there is something called PS drive, and that is starting with PS and then D colon. There is no difference between D drive and PS D drive. They both are same, just the way they are printing it different. Okay, so don't let this confuse you or take off or make you confuse this. Okay, so D drive. Okay, similarly C, D, E, F, all these are my computer's file system. Now, other than file system, this provider, where it is coming from, this is the provider type, right? Like file system, alias, certificates, environment variable, functions. These are all the things available in my machine. Okay, means if I type, let's say, first let's go with our familiar thing, D drive, right? We are already in D drive. If I type C drive, it will just go to C drive. Okay, let's type CD F drive. Okay, it will still go to F drive. Okay, let's say CF drive, right? It will actually here, if you see, CDF drive, okay, will be going, I mean, displaying kind of this, okay, and then it will come back. Okay, let us say CDC drive. Okay, you see, this is different. Okay, when we say type cdc colon, here it is actually taking me to the F drive. Okay, so first takeaway is we'll be using, oh, I mean, one of the, it is not a key difference, but again, just a small, this is what all you need to keep in mind whenever I say small things make difference. So this is what I mean to say. Okay, so that is where it is going to make you understand you are actually a little bit edge than others. Okay, so that is all the underlying concepts. So that is what is actually happening. Okay, and it will, again, if I type C drive, it will work. Okay, but the whole concept is this is the right, I mean, this is what happening when we are doing it, when we type C drive or E drive in PowerShell. Okay, this is all we are, in spite of we have a glass called command line and computer, we are taking that particular command line glass and then we are wearing a glass called PowerShell and seeing the same thing. But how actually PowerShell is looking at the data source and how it is accessing and how it is letting you to access it in the easiest way, so that you can automate it. So that is what we are doing. Okay, and okay, so you see, that is what the thing, CD, whatever the provider name, okay, or the drive name. Okay, so provider is the actual source data and drive is the name of it. Okay, the name of the gateway. Okay, it can be C drive or D drive or anything. uh, you see here, right? C, D, F, G, that is all things. And where it is actually going is the root. Okay, this is the important thing. Where it is actually connecting to is C colon. Okay, and then it is in the D colon, E colon, all those things, right? That is for this one. Similarly, we can also create our own drive. Okay, let's say C system 32, right? Let me copy this. Okay, and let let us try to create my own drive. Mm, let us say new hyphen ps drive. Okay. Before that, I'll just again show here there is nothing called Z drive. Okay, I'm gonna create a new hyphen PS drive. Okay, and then the name is here from this one name. I'm gonna keep it as Z. Okay, I'm not putting colon. You see, there is no colon here, right? So I'm just leaving that. And then the root is what I wanted. Okay, I'm putting C colon slash, and since it's ending slash, right, I'm putting slash and then here and then hit enter. And here, as you know, if something is actually prompting you, that is a mandatory field, right? What is ps provider? PS provider is what we have been seeing so far, right? It can be a registry, file system, all those things, right? So this is a file system, right? In spite we'll be showing that, but here there are the full command is ps provider, and then I'm just type fi and press tab and file system will be there, and then I hit enter. Now what is happening is it's creating something called PowerShell drive called Z drive. Okay, and then it is actually pointing to some kind of it can be anything. Okay, it can be your local machine, it can be your network machine and others, all those things. This is how you will be actually doing or creating the drives. Okay, so it is very similar to mapping the drive in your normal computer. Okay, now let us type a get hyphen ps drive. Now do we have the Z, and then do we have the actual root? So that is how we will be creating it. And again, why should I create it? There is again one because I want to easily access the data. Now from there we will be moving to we already see ps provider. Okay, ps drive. Now let's move to the other things, like let us say registry. This is the one of the important thing where what we will be doing with the real time. Okay, because this is one of the easiest and then the right way to access the registry, because as an IT administrator you will be working with registry, you will be doing create CURD, reading registry, modifying registry, creating a key, modifying a key value, all those things, right? Everything will be done through this ps drive only. So let's focus more on this. First of all, let's try to explore this. Okay, now I'm gonna ps drive. Okay, and then I'm typing, there are just two registers, let's say two, right? One and two. One is hkcu. Let me type that, hit enter. What is actually, it is routing to h key current. Let's go here. Okay, this is the exact one, he current user, and then similarly h key local machine. So this is gonna be local machine, right? So this two will be by default, because this is where we will be making most of the configuration related changes. So by default these two will be created in your I mean these two providers will be there, and then also by default created as a drive. Now let us try to, now this is the interesting part. Since we getting into the D drive, right? How we do? We just type a CD D, okay, and then we are going there, right? Similarly, let me type CD HKCU and hit enter. CDHK. This one is, I mean, again, it is not case sensitive. I just missed colon, semicolon. Okay. So semicolon, and that is the one. How we type CDD colon. Similarly, all these resources will be accessible just by typing CD and then whatever the name of that particular drive. Okay, so that is a PS drive. Now we are inside. Okay, so we are inside. What we are going to do, I mean, it looks like a file system, right? So let us try get hyphen child item. We know get hyphen child item will actually go ahead and list what all the things inside that particular folder or a data, right? Let's try this. And you see it is actually pulling, let's say h key current user, right? And I open it. You see app events, console, right? And then control panel, environment, all those things are actually we are getting reading the entire h key I mean current user. Okay, now similarly cd h key user local user, right? H key local machine and colon we are from current user. We again I just typed it intentionally with a small case because that is again nothing related to caps or small. So we are into the local machine. Let's do dir, and few of them access is not allowed. That is fine. The point is we are getting into it now. How we created, let's say, s- new PS drive, this one, right? That is we created for C is Windows 32. We created something called Z drive. Similarly we can, or I mean there is no necessary you need to create it from the registry. Okay, we can come out of it. Let's say C colon. Okay, now or D colon is where we are actually doing, right? Okay, this is new hyphen PS drive. Okay, name is I'm gonna, if you see, only we have only for these two we have h key cu h key lm is there. So why not h key users or anything? Let's try to use this one, h key cr. Okay, h key cr means h key classes root. And then what is the name actually routing to? It is actually routing to h key local machine, sorry, h key local root. And then the only thing will be changing is a PS provider is not a file system, it is the registry. And hit enter. Now it's created. Now let's type new get hyphen PS drive and hit enter. You see we created our own h key cr is there. Okay, and it is actually pointing to there. And let us try h key cr colon. Now type dir, we are able to see all of them. Okay, so that is what we can create. Okay, that is how we can create a drive. And we can also delete a drive. Okay, so what is ps get a get hyphen ps drive? Okay, hyphen name z. Okay, now I can before that I'll show you get hyphen help. Okay, ps drive and hit enter. Okay, these are all the three things. So we already know get hyphen. We have seen that a new drive that, I mean, we just created one. We can also remove it. So you can either remove direct like this. Let's say you can just get it and then pipe it to remove hyphen PS drive. Okay, and this is something we so far we did not seen. Okay, this is actually in spite of I type PS drive, okay, and then I type the name Z drive, what I'm doing is I'm getting this one, okay, getting this particular Z drive, and I'm just piping it to remove hyphen PS drive. And they both will be doing the same thing. Again, it's not related to PS drive or anything. It is common usage. Why I will be using this kind of thing in most of the cases whenever particularly removing something or modifying something or set something. Okay, when I say set, uh, in the CURD we are creating, right? So in the create and the get read, we will not be using it. When I'm modifying and deleting, I'll be mostly using this. So what it is going to help, what is it is going to do is, after this remove drive, right, it will be I mean, I have to give you the vivid details, right, like more details about, let's say, name, whatever the Z, and then let's say confirm all those, let's say this is all this needs is a Z drive. Okay, but few things will be requiring more things, name, and then a folder, all those things. So I'm avoiding all those things for two reasons. One is, if I make a mistake by typing, instead of Z drive, I type anything, something else. Okay, it might be removing the wrong one. So I want to make sure I'm actually getting the right thing, and I make sure that is the one. So I want to make sure I'm deleting only this. So I just press the up arrow twice and then pipe it to remove, so that I'm confidently go ahead and deleting it, and then I can confidently go ahead and modify it. So again, there is no difference between doing this and this. This is how I will be doing it, reason as I just said, so that I can make sure it is definitely deleting or modifying the exact thing I want to do it. And this is the thing. Okay, so yeah, now I'm gonna do it, and then hyphen confirm is something we have not seen, right? Okay, false, I mean, hyphen confirm and hyphen for what if is something like in hyphen error action, right? Let's say remove hyphen ps drive. Okay, last in the previous sessions we were seeing error action, right? Similarly, in all the commands we will be having something called what if. Okay, and then we will also have confirm. Okay, these two again, we'll be adding lot of new things, and then not related to this, but just to keep adding wherever it is possible, so that you will be knowing it. Okay, so these two will be helping you in two ways. Okay, let's say here it's already deleted, so first I'll just check whether it is deleted. Yes, it is not there, it is deleted, and let us go and try to create it again. Okay, so that I can show you that. All right, deleted. Again, when I say it's deleting, it's just removing the mapping only. Okay, it is not going to do, or it's not going to do anything to the root or your data source. The connection between the Z drive and this one will be just disconnected, and this PS drive will be removed from the list. Okay, it is not going to do anything for this. Now we created it, and then now again we are gonna remove, right? Let's say first thing is what if. Okay, I hit enter. What if is something like kind of a trial. Okay, before you go ahead and do something very important. Okay, you want to make sure whether it is gonna work or not. Okay, uh, for let us say you want to delete 10 files. Okay, either you want to delete all the 10 files, or you don't want to delete it, and you are not sure whether if you have the access. I mean, you checked everything manually, but again, you need a confirmation you will be actually able to delete or remove. It is, again, what if is not only related to remove or anything. Okay, it can be anywhere. Okay, in any command, what if will be there, how error action is there. Similarly, okay, so what if is something like it'll go ahead, try to do this particular command. Okay, try to do it, and then it will check whether it is gonna work or not. And how do we know if it is performing the operation? Means
it is actually working on it. Okay, and sometimes it will say error, okay, means it is something not gonna work. Okay, so that is what if means. So in what if we get performing the operation means it is gonna be successful, and something else it will give you the appropriate error. Now what if is something I could, it is actually performing this remove drive on the Z, and then this is what actually going to work. That is what this information means. Now I tried what if again. Try what if is kind of trial before you go to live. Okay, even though you are in live, if you just put what if, nothing will be happening. Okay, just you will be still have PS drive is still there. Okay, it is not removing. It is just saying you it is ready for you to delete. Okay, or you can actually go ahead and delete. Now what if is done, and then let's say hit enter. Okay, it is not, I mean, in some cases, right, it will not be just go ahead and delete it without getting a confirmation, particularly in active directory users and computers, or in even some file systems, all those things, right? It will be asking, are you sure you want to do it, yes or no, right? So that's the confirmation we are talking about here. Let why we need this. If it is only one command, okay, and you are doing it from the console, and you don't have to use this confirm, you can just hit enter or y, so that it will go ahead and do it. But when you are actually running some the something actually will prompt you to get confirmation. Okay, that means the script is actually gonna prompt you and then gonna wait for you to actually to confirm yes or no. Okay, even though it is running, so means it will be suspended till you will be actually give some input either yes or no, meaning once it get the confirmation it will go ahead and do it. Again, that is good for, I mean, it based on what resource we are trying to delete or remove or do any kind of operation. Mostly it related to update or delete. Okay, based on what resource we are trying to delete and what is actually associated with that, it will ask you whether you want to do it or not. Here it is not asking it. Okay, so that is not required. But if we put let's say confirm true, it's already deleted. Okay, here confirm, right? If we just dollar false, if we put false, it means do not actually ask for my confirmation. Okay, just go ahead and delete it. That is the thing. Means it will not wait for you. It means that you already given the access, you are ready, there is no need of prompting me, go ahead and do it. Okay, so that is the additional information. So where are we now? Now we know we can map our own thing, and then we also will be able to see the list of things. Now let us go ahead and try to create a new how we create a new file, right? Similarly, we can create two things. One is we can create a folder like app event, right? Similarly, we can create a key, and then within that we can also create a key is again folder. But just for our easy understanding, let's say this is an even though the technical name is actually folder, I mean key, we are going to use it as a folder. Okay, so we can either create a new key or other values, string, binary, d word, all those things that will be on the right side. It can be anything. Let's say we will be seeing that now. So how we will be doing it? New hyphen item. First of all, there is no need you have to go into this all these d drive, all those things. Okay, um, but anyway, let us try. We are in H key current user, right? Okay, H key current user. Let us go to system. Okay, cd system H key. Oh, okay. I'm in the classes root, H key classes root. Let me first go to.
cd h key local machine or yeah, current user, and then cd system. And then if you see, it is very similar to our navigation system, file navigation. Now new hyphen, before that I'll show you. There is, okay, let us also, in this system, let's try to create this one. This is the command that new hyphen item name is the key name. Okay, it can be, let's say, advanced PowerShell Titans, and hit enter. Okay, now let us refresh. We created this, right? So that's simple it is. We can create a folder, and it can be, sometimes you will be requiring some administrator credential, right? So you will be passing the credential. You remember the command, right? Get hyphen credential, and then we will be getting this credential, assigning it to a variable, and then we will be doing, because it's related to registry, it will be a little bit more secured. Now we created this folder. So what is other thing we can do? um, New, and then let's try to rename it. Okay, item and hyphen. Okay, what is this called? Advanced. Okay, and rename hyphen item. Okay, item is a folder. Okay, and item, within the folder, if you are creating a file, like a particular string or anything, it will be item property. We'll come to that later. Just first we'll be dealing with the folder. Now advanced. Okay, now what is the new name? um, Advanced pst1, and hit enter. Now get hyphen item, sorry, get hyphen child item. Do we see the advanced pst1? And also here, if you refresh, it will be renamed. So we also renamed it. Okay, what we were seeing is, so far, very quick recap. PS provider is equals to data source. PS drive is the name of that particular drive. Again, exactly the drive. Okay, and then not only the file system, it will be registry, alias, certificate, and there are 6 to 7 types. Okay, and we can create our own PS provider. We can list the PS provider, and then we can also rename the PS provider. We just renamed it, all those things, right? In the let's, I mean, that is the, we will be seeing the renaming it. Okay, but here is the thing. Let's, we were seeing this new hyphen item. We also did that, and rename is also done. Let us try the other things. Okay, let's say h key local machine colon cd, and cd system. Where are we? Yes, h key local current user, cd h key current user, and cd system. Okay, so this is where we are right now. In the, this is the rename command. We are done with that, and then we also created it and renamed it. Now let's create some item within that.
this is the one you'll be mostly using all these two commands, okay, like creating and then deleting. Okay, now we created this folder. Within the folder we are going to create an item called item property, and the name is let's say some kind of value pst. Okay, and then value is let's say 100, and then path is important. Okay, path is nothing but just copy this and paste it and hit enter. So this is the command to create a registry key, okay, within the particular folder. Okay, so you need to mention where it is. Okay, let's say if I do not mention, okay, path, and let's say pst1, it will be asking for the path, right? So even though you are within the path, it will be still looking for the path. So the right command is, this is the one. Okay, now second thing is let us rename the item property name. We are not changing the value. Okay, we are trying to rename it. Okay, how do we rename? Name and the hyphen new name is pst new one, and again without path it will still ask for the path. So hyphen path is something we can just copy here and then paste. Refresh pst. Okay, sorry, we did not rename, right? pst1, pst2, this one, and now refresh it, it will be changed. Now how do we change the value of it? We rename this one name, but how do we change the value? Set hyphen item. I'll just press the up arrow and then just change this set hyphen property name. Okay, instead of new name I will change type the value. How much is that? Currently is 100, right? Let's say 200 and hit enter. Now let's refresh. Okay, what happened is I didn't okay, that's a good thing. uh, I did not create new hyphen item property, but when I doing set hyphen item property and pst, even though it is not there, set will go out and create the one. That's the one thing. So actually how to change this? So here pst is 200, right? Let's just change it to 300. Now refresh it. Mission accomplished. If you open it, it will be value will be changed. Okay, so this is again all happening in your actual real time registry. Okay, since this is my local lab machine, I'm doing all these things, but don't do it in your, I mean, if it is your office machine or anything, try all these things in your local machine or in your lab. And then because all these will be triggering events, you know, right? So how the things will be working, so don't get into problem. And now we created a folder and we renamed it, and we created some key, particular registry key, and then we renamed it. We changed the value as well. Oh, by create. Okay, now we also gonna remove it. Remove hyphen item property, same thing, hyphen name pst, and path is the same path. Hit enter. It's now get item property. This item property, right, it'll definitely will work only with this one. Okay, here. Now it is we are seeing only this AD1, and then there is only one value. Okay, PST1. Now again refresh this so that we can make sure it's deleted. Okay, this is deleted. Now what we are going to do, we created this, and then this folder, we are done with this. What all things we done? We created, we renamed, we changed the value, and we deleted that as well. Now we are we this created, renamed it. What is the other things? Let us try to set some value. You see here, default is no value set. We can actually set a value for a particular item as well. Okay, so how do we do that? Set hyphen item, uh, and then value, and let's say test path. Now let's refresh it. You see this, if I open this, value is changed for the default, which is actually for this particular folder related thing. So we also changed the value of this one. Finally, let us go ahead and delete it. So remove hyphen item and then value on here. We don't need value. We are actually going to delete that particular key itself. Okay, and the name is, it is in use. Any idea why it is? Because we are already within that. So we cannot be within a file and then delete the file while it is already there, right? So let's come back a bit, delete it. Now here it is there, and then we are going to refresh. It's gone. Okay. So what all the things are now, if you see, we have covered all the registry manipulation just using the PS provider and PS drive. So for PS provider, if you wanted to do anything related to other than this two, okay, you can create your own drive. We created that, and then we created in a folder, right? And then we did the CURD, which is creating new item and setting the new item, getting it, and or CD, sorry, dir, and then removing the item, and then we also rename that item. So we did all the things whatever possible we wanted to do, and we also seen hyphen credential. Okay, and also within the folder we wanted to change all these things. Now if you notice, okay, we'll just quickly do this as well, because this will be actually mm, okay, new item. Okay, no problem. Let's create a one, hyphen new hyphen item, and then hyphen name, and then PST3. Okay, now come back here and then refresh. It's there, and then uh, CD PST3, and then new hyphen item property, and first I'm gonna not gonna I mean we are gonna use the same command, but I'm gonna just show you one more thing. Name is mm, username, okay, and value is, let's say, Roy. Okay, and then what the path is, this path. Hit enter, and now it's created. Sorry, it's created.
And now you see this by default, it is taking it as a string. But if you see, string is one of the option. We have binary, D word, Q word, multi-string, expandable, all those things. Even in real life, you might have not created multi-string, expandable string unless until it is very exceptional case. But we will create D word, binary, all those things, right? Let's see one example. That is D word is something commonly we'll be using, right? So let us use. And what is the this is username 2 and the value is Subramanya, and here I'm gonna mention D word. Okay, how mm, property type is D word, and hit enter. What is happening here is D word, okay, is something should be a number, right? Usually let us try Subramanya. In spite of that, let us type 123, hit enter. So this will make sure this kind of particular registry will be created, and in that case it will be actually checking what kind of value you are actually giving, right? So for an example, if I type D word, okay, and whatever it, first I will refresh so that we can know it is already there. So okay, here this is without giving anything, D word or anything, string, it will take it. Then here whatever the value we are giving, right? What's the value? 123. Okay, that is 123, and it is converting to hexadecimal number. Decimal is 123. All right. Now I create a just a new value here directly from here. If I go to modify, okay, and you see only I can type uh, anything, okay, it is taking that as a hexadecimal, right? But that will not happen, okay, even though I type, okay, because I'm typing ACADF, right? Let's say XY, not X. I'm trying to type XYZ, and if you are able to hear the beep sound, okay, it is not allowing because till A to F only it will allow us to type in a hexadecimal, right? I'm trying to type anything else, it is actually giving me an error. So that's the thing. Okay, so let us do one more last thing. In spite of Subramanya, we'll just take a AAF. Okay, this is all within the one, and let us make it as username 3 and then the word 0x123 4. Okay, so this is again that is not required, you have to put it in hexadecimal, okay, just to make the point I'm doing it. It's easier to put it in decimal number so that it will automatically type it, change it to hexadecimal. So that's one of the thing. And for similarly D word, keyword, string, any all these things whatever you're seeing, right, you can do all those things. And but that is all not we are going to cover here. I mean, that is not required at all. Now we are able to do everything about related to registry. Okay, let us go ahead and delete this, we don't need it. All right, now let us move to the next thing. Okay, key rename. Okay, alias, right? Alias again, we say, okay, get hyphen. Mm, okay, type cd alias, and this is the same thing. How we go into the H key, current user, all those things similarly. Okay, and then if you just type dir,
you'll be seeing all the alias as if they are all like files and folders. You are seeing all those things. But here you don't have to use a new hyphen item or new hyphen item property. Okay, we have few set of commands exclusively for alias. Let's say get hyphen help and alias. So this are all the commands to you can get an alias, and then you can import an alias and export alias, new alias, set alias. Again, all CURD only. Okay, we will quickly see all of them. One is um, first thing. Let's read get hyphen alias. So I want to read only one thing. Let's say write is write hyphen output. That is the one. That is the read operation. How do we create a new alias? Why should I create a new alias? Let's say I'm creating I mean uh, let's say this is something suspend job, right? Okay, but whatever this SUJB, it is something for me, okay, or at least this STZ is something not easier for me to remember to set the time zone. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this set time zone, and name is set time zone. Okay, and then value is hit enter. Okay, get hyphen alias. Do we see? mm, mm, mm. Here we go. This one set time zone. Okay, this is something for me. It is right. It is you can create your own thing. Okay, you can create your own function, and then you can name it as an alias, all those things. But as of now, don't try to do all those things. That is all kind of fancy thing, not required at all. Okay, unless until it is really something you will be on a daily basis, you are doing something and it is something very tough for you to remember, or you wanted to make it very easy to type. Unless until you don't have to do anything. Okay, so these are the things created by manually. Okay, some cases, right, let's say in some Skype for business or Azure or those kind of thing, right, some kind of scripts will be like this, like value, I mean this command, right, it will be just going like this: get hyphen, I mean new hyphen Azure, sorry, Azure machine network name IP address in um IP6 format. Okay, you see, again there are this much huge commands are there. Okay, this is something I just want to give you an example. This is not a real command. Okay, this much huge command will be also there. This is something really not possible for us to type, right? For that you can create something. Okay, I'm just going to try to create it and see what's going to happen. Okay, what I'm going to do is Azure VM uh, IP6. Okay, and it is again creating it. Okay, get hyphen Azure IP6. You'll be seeing it. The point is, it is actually not validating anything. Okay, but if I try the Azure IP6, you will be seeing it is not actually working because this command is not there. Okay, you can, meaning you can create any alias for anything. Okay, any kind of command, unless until the command is actually a valid command, it will not work. So you can also delete it, right there. So how do we delete it? We created it. We, let's set hyphen alias. Let's say we are just gonna change set hyphen alias, the name is set c, and then mm, set time zone. In spite of that, set hyphen time. I'm just giving some other value, time zone USA. Okay, hit enter. Now if you type get hyphen alias set time zone, you will be seeing the new one. Okay, this is how you will be changing the connection between the alias. Again, you can consider this again a point to refer something else, how we are using the drives and everything. Okay, so finally let's quickly go ahead and delete it. Okay, there is no command to delete alias. Remove hyphen alias. Okay, that is something. Let me quick check that. Okay, so let's say if you want to save all those alias, that is where this import export will be coming. Let's say export a hyphen alias, right? And then a hyphen path, let's say backup on 28. Okay, alias, and then hyphen path is seek or d all, and that's it. Export hyphen alias path. Okay, c or d colon test. Or okay, hit enter. Access is denied. D all business. Let's go to D drive itself. Export hyphen alias hyphen, or let's do one thing. We have get hyphen help, export hyphen alias hyphen examples. Here we go. So dot, I was trying dot txt, and then all it requires is dot csv. Okay, and exported it, alias, open it, and here you have, okay, if you are, I mean, if you created a lot of things and then you want to save it, you can save it and export it to the same machine, import it or export, and that will be actually saving your all your new aliases. And how do we import? Let us, same thing, at import hyphen alias dot csv, cost hyphen pass through force. Okay, I don't want to do that because it's gonna it's asking me to force, and that is not required. So that's a concept. Okay, and if I just put force, okay, just hyphen force, it will go ahead and then rename everything, I mean read import everything. just like we copy and then take a backup and then we put it back, right? So that's the same concept. That's the alias part. And we have seen file, and then we also seen alias, and we clearly seen about registry. That's the very important part. Files and folders, we already know all those things. And if you notice, okay, one thing, okay, in a file, let's say get hyphen child item is the command to go ahead and get it, okay. But new hyphen item, let's say I create a hyphen name test folder, okay. This will be the, I mean, this new item, new property item, item property, all those things will work for both uh, registry as well as the file system, okay. But we are not using the same command in the alias. For alias it will be having the different commands, which is a new hyphen alias, all those things, okay. So it is not, they're all not gonna be we are not gonna deal all of them with the same commands. Based on what it is, we will be changing the commands as well, okay. Like if it is registry related, we need to definitely give hyphen path folder, the main path of the particular folder, and then value. Let's say if it is hexadecimal, we should definitely give the hexadecimal. So based on what we are exactly dealing with, that it will be from that particular type we are mentioning, right? D word or registry, all those things, which is PS provider, all those things. Based on that, it will be actually changing. Even though they are all almost the same command, based on our requirement, it will be changing. So that's all about the PS providers and then PS drives. Okay, and we also seen alias, and let's quickly see about the escape characters. So what is an escape character is, uh, we know, let's say PowerShell will be actually if I type dollar string one, okay, if I type it in single quotes, I mean double quotes or single quotes, it's going to consider that as let's say a string by default, okay. Let's say my computer, hit enter and then string and then pipe it, or get hyphen type, and it's a string, right? That's one of way. Another one is get hyphen member, and we know it is a string. Now uh, how does it know it is string is because we are actually putting it in the double quotes, okay. And if we put it in single quotes as well, okay, and then it will string, str will be still taking it as a string only, okay. But sometimes, okay, when we are actually dealing with right host or some kind of reports, or some kind of alert, all those things, right? I mean, we wanted to actually use some special characters, okay. For an example, new line is a special character, and then tab is a special character. All those things are something we will be using very frequently when we create some formulated look good output, right? For that we need some kind of a shortcut, and that is called escape characters. So one of them is let's I mean we will be using three or four only very frequently. There are nearly some 10 escape characters, but these three are the one we will be using, okay. And how we will be using this alert, right? Hyphen alert, okay. If you just copy, I'll be typing it, right, hyphen host, okay. And then this symbol is just above your in your keyboard, above your tab, okay. Tilde symbol, okay, just the tilde, right, just below that. That's the symbol we are using here, okay. This is not a hyphen, I mean single quotes, okay. This is not a single quotes. You see a small, slightly it's the slight sliding, right? It is a little bit sliding and it is actually not sliding. This is single quotes and there is a clear difference, right? Here I type A and then I hit enter, and not sure whether you are able to hear a beep sound. You will be actually hearing an alert sound. Okay, so why we will be using, I mean, why should we actually generate it? Let's say you are running something and then let's say whenever something is going wrong, okay, and then not only just by displaying it with in a file or in a console, if you can give you a beep sound, it will be more easier, right, for you. In spite of you keep on looking to your computer, you can do your work. When you are getting that particular beep, you can see what is actually going wrong. Okay, so hyphen a will be used only when you, most of the time, you want to actually get the attention of the people who is actually running. Mostly some kind of alert or some kind of error is happening, and you want people to actually see, okay, look at your computer, I mean the screen, and then do something. And all you need is put this one. And another one is, we know the this one we had this particular as a question, right? New line, how do we create a new line? This is the one, right? Hyphen host, double quotes, and line 1, n for new line, okay, line 2, n, okay, and then line 3, puts double quotes, and this is all will be happening. Okay, and similarly, you sometimes you want to actually display like this. Hyphen t is nothing but a tab. Okay, you see in the same will be, it will have a clear tab. If you press tab, what is the amount of the space will be happening, that's the exact the space will be given here as well. So these three are the actually practically used more in the cases. And other than that, we have, let's say, shell escape characters. I mean, we say escape character, but they also say special characters. Okay, and these are all the things. And again, as I say, null, alert is something we have seen. Backspace, okay, and form feed, all those things, right? These are all fancy stuff. Some people, I could see, just to make this hyphen, this one will just make null. Okay, it will make whatever the value we are assigning, right? It will just make it as a null. So for that, we don't have to go to a this kind of things. Okay, we don't have to show our expertise in that way. Okay, our expertise is making things simpler, right? We can just assign a dollar null, and whatever the value will be gone, right? So this all that, even though we have all those things, even though you know what is this, don't try to use it intentionally, because if we are using more on this, people whoever is reading, it will be more tough for them to understand what you are actually doing in that actual print statement or anything. Okay, particularly whoever is actually going to modify the script or going to reuse it, all those things. So thing is, we know hyphen n will be definitely useful. Hyphen t is going to give you a clear output. Alert is something we will be using as as some kind of error is happening, we will be using as an alert. So these are all the things I could see lot of people will be using. Only let's stick with that, and if at all required, you can still go ahead and use it. And all we need to put is just this tilde symbol, right? This is what you need to put, and one more point is, do you see, this is the only thing where actually case sensitive in PowerShell. Okay, I just made t, and then it is putting tab. Okay, if I made caps, it will be actually printing T. Okay, and then it is actually this is just one space. This is not a tab. Okay, it looks like a tab. It is not tab. Okay, and also new line. Okay, so that's an important thing about the alias. I mean, about this escape character or special characters. So that is very important. Small case, all of them, and then don't use uppercase, and only use whenever it is mandatory. So, being said that, that is what all I wanted to cover in this session. Okay, and from tomorrow we'll see similarly upcoming other sessions as well. So let's wind up, and thanks for your time, and then let's rock and roll. Have a wonderful evening.